Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my friends. How are you? I'm Rahmi Kartikawangi. I would like to explain about equality of educational opportunity in sociology of education. A look at social class difference and inequalities focuses on the connection between social stratification and the educational system. Social stratification refers to organization of people in society into socioeconomic strata that is different and unequal positions based on financial, fiscal, and mental health issues, and so that she lack in stability and guidance she needs. So, on the one hand, many view the educational system as the great equalizer, the preeminent social institution in society where talent and hard work are rewarded, where individuals succeed or fail on the basis of their own efforts rather than family background. On the other hand, many scholars challenge this idea rather than seeing the educational system as a meritocratic institution. Critics argue and the educational system perpetuates social class inequalities. It reproduces the existing system of social stratification rather than altering it. With respect to open systems approach, the relevant question is whether students as input are fundamentally transformed as outputs by the educational system. Social class, socialization, and educational inequality. While educational inequalities exist with respect to Next, it goes without saying that children raised in the different social classes have different material needs, for example, access to stuff, and that these different materialities likely impact their educational outcomes. Why? Because higher income parents have greater ability to purchase books and educational tools, and to hire tutors to educational specialists if needed. Their children may excel in school. But beyond this difference in what parents can buy, children raised in different social classes also experience different style of socialization. Socialization refers to the lifelong process by which we learn our society's culture and develop our social identities. It is made up of explicit interaction and intentionalization, as well as subtle interactions and unintended lessons. Sociologists find that children from different social classes are socialized differently, and these different styles are associated with different results within the educational system, like that. Next, research by Jesse Strip 2011 and Jessica Calaro 2011 showed that by age 4, children are influential class actors through interaction with peers and teachers. Preschool children are already actively reproducing class inequalities through their linguistic style. Okay, so in their separate ethnographic studies, these scholars found that upper middle class children speak, interrupt, and ask for help more than working class children. In so doing, they are able to practice their language skills and gain attention from teachers. Moreover, Their attention-seeking behavior silences working-class students, giving them less influence in the classroom and fewer opportunities to practice their language skills. Jessica Calarco showed that this behavior have been coached at home, where working-class parents stress no excuse problem solving, encouraging children to respect tutors' authority by not speaking help, and middle-class parents instead talk by any means problem solving, urging children to negotiate with teachers for assistance. By calling on their teachers for help, students form the full background, receive attention, and consequently create their own advantage and contribute to inequalities in the classroom and beyond. Social class and equality of education opportunity. Systemic sources of difference. It is clear that social class difference exists in the childhood socialization, and that this difference differently equips children for school success. Statistically, significant difference in the test of academic achievement exists even before children enter the school system, and persist through eighth grade and on into high school. So this is especially evident in the fact that college completion rates for the lowest income groups have not increased in the last 40 years. Despite massive expansion on the system of higher education. In the early years of schooling, social class inequalities exist in the terms of performance on standardized tests, and in later years with respect to whether one goes to college, where one goes, and whether as graduates. In this section, we describe the primary socialization of children from different social classes. This socialization lies the foundation for students' later experience in school and highlights the class-based assumption of how school operates. This picture about difference in funding levels across districts ultimately translate into resource difference. So, difference in funding level across district ultimately translate into resource difference because we live in a class segregated society. This translates into class difference in access to educational resource. The picture shows that schools serving low-income students are less likely than those serving higher income students to have a working science lab or independent space devoted to art, music, or athletics. Low-income schools are also more likely to rely on portable classrooms. How do this difference in school resources translate into class difference in educational achievement? This is a complex question, one that scholars are still working hard to answer. Like that. The structure of schooling and instructional difference across schools. In their classic work schooling in capitalist America, economists Samuel Bowles and Herbert Gintis argued that the educational system, rather than operate as a place where hardworking students can move up the class ladder, is designed to keep people within their social class position. So, what Bowles and Gintis mean is that the hidden curriculum of the school is designed by it to inculcate in students a sense of punctuality, conformity, and deference to authority. Through regimented and repetitive daily activities, where students focus on memorization and collaborating American achievement. The educational system tells students curiosity and creativity, and according to these authors, produce compliance works who will not rock the boat and will accept their subordinate positions within the class structure of the educational experience is admirably suited to nurturing attitudes and behaviors consonant with participant in the labor force. So, today, class inequalities in the education and the lack of social mobility in society are apparently rooted in a curriculum that emphasizes on critical celebration of American history and the educational model that emphasizes memorization and finding the right answers. So, teachers teach to the test, and students become rooted in their class position through their exposure to a hidden and formal curriculum that cultivates an ideology that justifies inequality and emphasizes individualism and a belief in meritocracy. The nation that will live in a society where people earn their class position through competition and hard work. And the next, about social class, tackling and instructional difference within school. The mechanism that links grading with social class difference in education is the method by which track placements are made. Research shows that track placements are closely correlated with students' socioeconomic background by Mills and Mills, 2005, August 1985. So that is, affluent students are more likely to be enrolled in higher track classes, while less affluent students are more likely to be enrolled in standard academic source and vocational track. In this part, this is because more affluent students score better on the tests and are used to make track assignment. It also reflects teacher subjective assessment of where students belong and parents require for their children to be placed in particular course. Each of these determinants, whether the seemingly objective nature of an achievement test or the subjective assessment of a teacher, opens the possibility for the social class to influence a student's placement. Social class, tracking, and instructional difference within school like that. Social class and equality of educational opportunity. The continuing importance of peers and culture. When it comes to social class, boundaries and tensions emerged early on. Researchers find that stigma against the poor exists even among elementary school aged children, where middle class children blame poor people for their poverty and characterize them as dirty, lazy, mean, and prone to violence. So, Weger found that both middle and lower income school children expressed a preference for playmates from their own social class background, with one lower income child commenting, I really don't want a rich friend that thinks he's better than me. When we're friends, we know that we're friends because we like each other, and um, not that we just want each other for money and stuff. Even at the elementary school level, poor children experience distrust and disdain from more affluent children and choice uh, to be friends with their own class in order to have seen care, trustworthy friendship, and avoid rejection. Okay, next. Describing the social class gaps in higher education. Okay, we can see about the diagram of lowest quartile and highest quartile. So the class difference exists in college completion. First, we established that class difference exists in whether students enroll in college. Yet some of those who eventually enroll drop out or stop out along the way. This tendency, too, is linked to social class. For less advantaged students, academic struggle, economic pressure, family demands, or feeling of alienation can result in leaving college before finishing its degree. Ultimately, while about 32% of the adult population has earned a 4-year degree, those percentages, as shown in figure, are 54% for students who grow up in the highest income quartile and just 9% from those who grow up in the lowest income quartile. Another way of looking at this is that those who come from the highest income families are 7 or 8 times more likely to have completed a college degree as adults compared to those from the low income families. About beating the odds or changing the game. Nicole Stamps suggests a simple cost-free intervention emphasizes a college character of independence rather than independence. So it means that her research finds that when college recruitment material focus on how the college will serve the need of lower-income students and their families, and how college attendance will help students give back to their communities. Lower income students are more likely to enroll and to persist as compared to when they hear messages about how college will help them excel individually and fulfill their dreams. Once off campus, lower income students are more likely to remain enrolled and earn higher grades if they are exposed to the stories of other successful lower income students than if they are given the chance to hear and talk about social class. In fact, a measurable benefit to GBI has been documented simply when lower income students attended an 1 hour workshop in which they heard other lower income students speak frankly about their struggles and of how their backgrounds have been set in college. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you very much. I'm sorry if something goes wrong about my material. Thank you very much. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.